howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump, Smith, and a now public filing. Hey, it's October, and we have a surprising development. Honestly, it seems like October surprised himself by accident. Very 4D chess. While Trump was pursuing his presidential immunity claims, he set the stage for filings from the special prosecutor that would demonstrate Trump's actions were not official acts. Special Prosecutor Jack Smith filed just such a brief recently, and it remained under seal until today. The 165-page filing argues that Trump's actions were definitely not official acts, primarily by citing the current Supreme Court's preferred argument, the separation of powers. But more about that later. The argument obviously doesn't take up 165 pages. So why is it so long? It includes a summary of the evidence Smith has collected against Trump. The summary is about 80 pages. We'll just hit some of the allegation highlights contained in the filing real quick. It says, a political advisor said, quote, "He's going to declare victory. That doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner." It says this was said before the election even occurred. It says Trump privately called the claims about voter fraud made by Sidney Powell, quote, crazy. Yes, the same type of arguments he fed to his base were, quote, crazy. A person named as P9 allegedly had calls with Trump about the fake elector strategy and text conversations with people in the campaign describing it as, quote, crazy and illegal. It says Trump told his family, quote, "It doesn't matter if you won or lost the election. You still have to fight." The filing says, quote, "The government will elicit from person 45 at trial that he was the only person other than the defendant with the ability to post to the defendant's Twitter account, that he sent tweets only at the defendant's express direction, and that person 45 did not send certain specific tweets." This means the government intends to show that some of the more problematic tweets were sent by Trump himself, including one about Pence not having the courage to block the certification. It described a number of conversations between Trump and Pence, in which Pence tries to get him to accept the results of the election. The conversations started as early as November 7th and continued through at least December 21st. The filing says Pence tried to convince Trump to not concede the election, but say the process is over. Then he tried to get him to accept the defeat and try again in 2024. On December 21st, Pence is said to have told Trump not to look at the election as a loss, just an intermission. Imagine the mindset of somebody who needs to have their ego stroked like this. Later, it says Trump asked Pence what they should do. Pence said they came up short and should, quote, take a bow. It says that when Trump was informed that Pence was in danger on January 6th, he replied with, quote, so what? Aside from the evidence, and there's more than what I listed, it outlines the government's position when it comes to the events. It says Trump, quote, resorted to crimes to try to stay in office. It says Trump used, quote, increasingly desperate plans to overturn the legitimate election results in 7 states that he had lost: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. As the story goes on, it says, quote, the defendant also knew that he had only one last hope to prevent Biden's certification as president: the large and angry crowd standing in front of him. So for more than an hour, the defendant delivered a speech designed to inflame his supporters and motivate them to march to the Capitol. The filing paints a picture of Trump desperately trying to organize a self-coup. Smith leans straight into the current Supreme Court's favorite style of argument when the filing says, quote, under the Constitution, the executive branch has no constitutionally assigned role in the state electoral process. To the contrary, the constitutional framework excludes the president from that process to protect against electoral abuses. During the November 7th conversation, the filing says Pence tried to encourage Trump to accept reality and that he lost. And it says Pence said to Trump, quote, "You took a dying political party and give it a new lease on life." That could have been Trump's legacy. But if this filing is a first draft of history, it looks like Trump's legacy will be a failed self-coup. It's unclear how the news will impact Republicans who believe the claims Trump reportedly described as crazy, and it's unclear how this will impact the minds of undecided voters who may not want to risk putting this man back in a position of power. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.